All right. Been a while since I did a video, so I thought it was time for a catch-up. Jim Ventura, navigational consultant, professional astrologer, oracle reader, writer, teacher, all that good stuff. Today I wanted to talk about the totem of Raccoon. So before I go into some more detail about this, let me explain again kind of quickly what a totem is. Animals uh, can also be seen other than just being animals in the world in their own right. They can also be seen as messengers. So when we dream about an animal or we keep seeing animals or we have an affinity for an animal, that's considered totem. It means the animal is showing us attributes or characteristics that may be a reflection of things inside ourselves or things that we may want to look at, bringing out in our personality and who we are, ergo giving us more power, more ability to affect, influence people and things around us. So let me start off with a quick story. About a year ago, last summer, I was in the swimming pool. I live in a condo complex, about 18 units, and I'm in the swimming pool, which is not that far from my front door in my upstairs condo. And I see three like full-grown adult raccoons run by the pool while I'm in the pool. We got some feral cats, and they were sitting around. I could tell they were kind of like a little shocked, but they didn't really get overreactive to the raccoons running by. Trippy part, of course, is I don't live in like the sticks. I live in I live in Phoenix. I live, relatively not that far from the city. There is a mountain preserve, that is nearby, but it's a good half mile, 3/4 of a mile. So I don't really know where these raccoons are living, but I guess they're coming out and scavenging at night, which is what raccoons do. So I don't really think Phoenix is noted for seeing a lot of raccoons. So it's another part that's kind of weird. So anyway, I've seen them a couple of times. A few people in my complex have seen them. It's pretty cool. It's not really scary. It's just more almost a little magical when we see them. I've seen them lots of times. Even like when I was walking down the stairs some months ago, the one of them was walking by my stairs. They're very physically beautiful. Very well groomed for raccoons to begin with. I've seen them a number of times, probably more than most people that live here, but I tend to be kind of the animal guy. Anyway, so last night I had an impulse to go outside, step out of my quote unquote stairway to pet and feed my feral cats just on impulse at like 8:30 at night. And I'm looking out by the pool, and there's like the main raccoon with its mate, I think, and another one close behind. One's drinking out of the pool. They're very, very cautious. They didn't see me, so I'm very quiet. I wish I had my camera. I would have, my phone, I would have taken a picture. I knew if I ran back in the house, it would make noise. And I gotta say, it was a very magical moment to just watch them slowly walk by, head to the back of the complex, going to wherever they're living, ever so slowly as sort of like a team. Just a really cool thing, interesting impulse to kind of check that out at that time. So, because I've seen them a lot, I've certainly done some research to understand what the totem of raccoon is all about. And it's very applicative to things that are going on in my life. So let's talk a little bit about what raccoon means. If you're dreaming about it, if you're seeing raccoons, if you have an affinity for them, or you just want to bring some of these characteristics to you. So raccoons are considered problem solvers. They're adaptable. Raccoons have opposable thumbs, so they can open things, which is interesting, but they're sort of seen as smart animals. Of course, you see that mask on their face. Masks in our history have been used for celebrations, magic, rituals. So the idea is behind a mask, one can become almost anything one wants to be when you're wearing a mask. This is part of the reason they use that in celebration. So there's also going to be an energy about unmasking the self, that be connected with raccoon energy. Because a raccoon is seen as somewhat of a magical creature, and wise in that way. Again, as totem, it's a reminder that raccoon knows when to let stuff slide by being clever. And also, if pressed into a corner, a raccoon will fight if needed. But that's kind of more a last resort thing. They're not known as being overly aggressive. They will if they have to. Another good message for us to consider taking on. They were seen as tricksters in North American Indian culture, bringers of wisdom through tricks in some ways. There are some negatives, of course, to the raccoon to be reminded of, as are with all totems. Masks can represent deceitfulness. They're nocturnal scavengers, so they can be keepers of secrets, and that could lead us, especially like in dreams, is a good analogy of this, about dreaming about raccoons. Are you and the people around you being truthful, or are they wearing masks? So that could be something that could be a warning in a way, or something to look at, within yourself, but and the people around us. But overall, they're considered a very, very positive totem in a lot of way. Raccoons are very protective of their families. And so it can represent that energy of being protective of your own family and the things that you care about. Sioux Indians saw them as sacred. They're ones that had magic. Some cultures they were seen as related to bears or even kept as pets in the same way dogs were, interestingly enough. It can also mean like having a mask problem solver watching over you. Another real interesting perception of a raccoon as a totem or an energy pattern is it's just a reminder that, sometimes we wear masks, and they serve a purpose. And then there's times to know when to wear a mask, when that could be of value to you. And there can be times when it's time to lose your mask and be willing to make your move. Again, this goes back to the cleverness of Raccoon and that reminder about why they can be seen as totem. So obviously very cool messages connected with Raccoon. Like I said, as always, there is a little negative to look for, but overall they are seen as kind of protectors, as are many animal totems, in a positive way. And yeah, I've been seeing them a lot. It'd be impossible for me to personally ignore what the message is. And my version, I won't go into detail about that, is I came to a lot of conclusions in the last year about my business and the life I'm living and what I'm doing. And I even started working on a new book that is not metaphysical, strangely. I was a little bit of a comedian at a young age in a lot of different ways. And so I'm writing somewhat of a comedy book that's also kind of sarcastic and warm. And so like I'm choosing to wear a new mask for practicality, prosperity, and also, they just would like a bit more prosperity. I'm not because I'm not going to leave behind my spiritual side of my metaphysical stuff. I can do both of those things. So it's exciting for me. So I've had a lot of clients I've talked to about this, personally, as well as their own versions of, wearing new masks or letting go of old masks. So, there seems to be a lot of interesting energy around this, and certainly happening in this area of where I live, because other people are seeing these raccoons and they're reacting somewhat the same way as I am, like that it's pretty magical that we have raccoons where we live. It's very, very weird, but nothing's accidental. It's the way the universe works. So, all right, if you like my videos, obviously click and I like, and you can subscribe to my videos. Feel free to share them with people. Information about my books, my column, personal sessions that can be done by phone or as well as in office if you're actually local here. But a lot of my clients are by phone. For personal sessions can be found at jimventura.com. And till next time, hope you find some magic in Raccoon.